So I'm recording now, right now. This is all gonna get cut. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay, no worries.
All right.
Awesome, yeah.
You look great.
Oh, thank you, man. Feeling good. We're doing really well right now. Everything's going really well for us. We're very excited about the prospects and our record doing so well, and it's really exciting for us, man.
Well, just so I say it right on the camera, your last name is pronounced Torien?
Torien.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Just want to be respectful.
No problem, no worries.
I thought I'd just kind of do I want to talk about the record and the tour, obviously, but is it okay if we can do a little bit about your career?
Yeah, sure. That would be fine.
All right. Well, I'll just get started then if you're
okay.
all
Well,
set.
here we go.
All right. Hi, I'm Baco. I'm from Decibel Geek. I'm here with the Bullet Boy, Marq Torien. He's kind enough to give me some time today. So.
No, you're kind enough to having me. Thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Well, tell me a little bit about how's the tour going. Let's start with that.
Tour's going fantastic. We're really excited about what's happening out here. On the Lions tour, it's our first headlining tour in quite some time.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about it, and we've been having a blast out here.
Now, I saw you at this place about a year ago last summer.
Yes.
And that show, well, without tooting your horn too much, really changed my. I mean, because I was a big fan. I was in high school when the first record came out. But you know, I just really kind of lost some disconnect between the 90s and things. Didn't know what you were doing. Really didn't know what to expect. And what a great show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a blast. We're, we've just kind of taken about a little over 2 years to put together Elefante and to give something special to our family, friends, and fans that we haven't been able to give them in a while.
Yeah.
So,
what was the last record? Was it 10 Cent Millionaire?
10 Cent Billionaire, which was
Billionaire,
in 09. So yeah, we're just, we're all about new music. We're all about living in the now, not in the past, and looking in the front windshield instead of looking in the rearview mirror.
Well, a little bit about your past with your career. You've had quite an extensive career.
Yes.
Now, I know very little about a band called Cagney and the Dirty Rats.
Yes.
Now, that was a Motown band?
Yes.
And what did you do in it?
I sang in the band.
Did you?
I sang and played guitar.
All right. No, were you the the only singer, or I only heard a couple songs on YouTube.
Yeah, we had a main singer, a front guy, and I was a guitar player and sang the R&B stuff.
Would this been like a little before? Would this been before or after you tried to first say Ozzy?
This was actually right before that.
Okay.
Yes. And I didn't try out for it. It's a misconception.
Oh.
I was actually in the band.
Oh.
So I rehearsed with the band to travel to England to play with the band.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now, what was that before or after Randy then?
That was right when Brad Gillis left the band to join Night Ranger, and he wasn't going to be coming back.
Okay.
And they were looking for somebody else. They picked me up. All props to Ozzy and Sharon. They were just amazing, very lovely people to me. And at the time, I was very young, and I rehearsed with the band for almost a month. And basically, they couldn't take me overseas because Ozzy felt I was just too young still, and they were still reeling over the fact that of Randy's death.
Yeah.
And I talked to Rudy about it all the time because Rudy was, when I was in the group.
That's right.
Rudy was there, and Rudy was always so loving and kind to me, and showing me the ropes. But he was going through the same thing Ozzy and Sharon were going through. They're still reeling from this awful premature death of Great Randy Rhoads. So when I came in, I came into mixed reviews, because he was this young kid trying to come in and show what he could do, and I was just very fortunate.
Were you able to play a show or not? Or?
No.
Okay. So it was just you were up there, and then they made the decision kind of after.
Yeah, I think they went with Bernie Torme in England when they went over there, and Sharon had called my house and my parents and explained the situation to them. Yeah, I just loved them to death, though. They gave me a huge opportunity that the kid from Montebello only dreams about, and I love them with all my heart because they discovered that Ozzy was always a discoverer of talent, and that I was in that mix was amazing.
You're not wrong too. I mean, yeah.
Sorry?
You're not wrong when you say that about Ozzy.
He's just
I mean,
amazing.
look at the guitar players he's had.
Yeah,
I mean, the
don't
fact
know.
that you're just kind of in that. It's a huge group to be lumped in, I guess. That's
No, absolutely, very blessed to be.
Yeah. Now, what would have been next? Were you in King Cobra for a while, or?
Well, after that was Rat.
Okay.
I joined Rat, and worked with them for a while.
As a singer or a guitar
As a
player?
guitar player.
Okay.
I wrote one of their first hit songs, "You Think You're Tough," with Robin and Steven.
Okay.
So we did a lot of shows with them in LA and around the LA basin. So I was actually the new young guy then, so I'm playing with a couple of some older cats, but I didn't
Very
really.
cool.
Yeah, it was a tough one in there. Me and myself and Steven and Robin. Steven kind of took me under his wing. He's always one of those kind of cats. He really believed in my talent. Wanted me to play in the band, and after the thing with the Aussie fell apart, he said, "Man, you need to come play with us and be a rat." I'll never forget that. I was just like, "Wow, this is going to be so great." So went and started working with them, and it was awesome. Other than one of the guys in the band that gave me quite a hard time when I was young, and his name will remain nameless. But the hard time that he gave me and the tough love that he gave me actually opened up my ears to a lot of different musics maybe that I wouldn't have listened to at the time. So even though it was tough love musically that opened up my ears. So it was a double-edged sword.
Sure. And let's just skip to the BulletBoys at this point. So when that starts, and because I think what you're saying there kind of ties into at least some of the misconceptions I even felt at the time about them. You were so different. It was hard to categorize. I almost think, from my view, that it was almost like the end of the 70s might have been a better time for you.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Just to how they categorized you, because the closest thing that you got lumped in with the Rats, who were a great band too, and Poison, things of that nature.
Right.
But there was
We weren't
you were
that.
closer to Van Halen, and I know there was comparisons there, but that much more like they're trying to say that you're miming him and things of that nature. But your voice was very different. Actually, you're a much better singer than David Lee Roth.
Thank you.
But I'm just saying, your music had more to it. It was the
Yes.
guitars were a little more open, and then you're doing covers like "For the Love of Money." It's just,
I thought,
and even "Smooth Up" is just
we
kind
were
of
more of an aggressive band than Van Halen. It's
yeah.
more of a, we had, my musical backgrounds were and still are very varied, from jazz to R&B to rock to punk rock music, classical, just it goes on and on and on. I was very fortunate that I grew up with my mother and father who are extremely musical, who are musicians, and we had music around our house all the time, sending me to piano lessons and stuff, but I would never do that. I picked the guitar on my own and just kind of self-taught myself. And,
Why didn't you play more guitar like in the BulletBoys at the beginning?
I don't think that the situation that we were in led some of the individuals to be more open and to using all our musical prowesses.
Almost a little territorial.
Yeah, and that's why, to me, it never really kind of worked, because of the fact that I wasn't able to use my other musical prowesses, from guitar to piano to, trying to arrange and stuff. I felt like I was very stifled sometimes.
It had to help with the songwriting, though, right? As far as being able to bring songs.
Yeah.
To the table.
Absolutely. I wrote the majority of the BulletBoys songs that were hits, and with myself and Lonnie Vincent, we wrote "Smooth Up" together. The original drummer never wrote a single note, nothing, in fact.
Well, he's a drummer.
Yeah, well, so there's a lot of drummers that are very, very prolific in their songwriting also.
Yeah.
I mean, you take the drummer.
You said a lot. I don't know about that.
No, absolutely.
I'm
The
kidding.
drummer that passed away from Avenged Sevenfold had a majority to do with the writing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so that's a fallacy. That's drummers aren't writers. I know a lot of drummers.
It was a cheap shot. I was just trying to have a little fun. I've been in bands myself, and the drummer was always the guy we picked on the most. So, good-natured stuff. They usually give it back, but so that gets us to like the 90s kind of come, and everything happens, and your whole scene kind of gets wiped out with Nirvana kind of taking
Not
things over.
necessarily with
Well,
us.
you know what I mean.
Well,
It took an impact on it.
No, not with us. We did most of the majority of touring in the 90s. We didn't tour in the 80s. So when grunge was around, we were still out there touring, and we were playing with a lot of different bands from the 90s. So we kind of like were that exception to the rule as far as
Okay.
touring. We were never.
But Zaza was probably not really given the push it would have maybe a year earlier.
No, I don't think it was. I think that maybe people went on vacation. I don't know, but we were more. I would say we were more of an alternative band than just your straight up rock band. I look at it like the Black Crowes is an alternative band.
Sure.
You know, it was. We were trying to do something that was. Our second record we released THC Groove. Now a song like that, no one was even attempting to do anything like that.
No.
Or Hang on St. Christopher, or because we were trying to push the boundaries a little bit musically, and the problem that I had was that the songs sometimes revolve too much around the sex joint premise, and I love sex joint songs, but after a while they become very mundane.
And that pretty much dropped after the first record with you guys, or?
Yeah, it was just to me, it was kind of you're chasing this thing that's kind of after a while. It's like, I didn't get into this for this, like I always tell people I was very blessed to write and smooth up with Lonnie, and very, very fortunate to do that, but I don't want to be known as the smooth up guy for the rest of my life.
Sure.
And that's why we get
What's the time capsule of where you are?
10 Cent Billionaire and Sophie, and these records that we've done and I've done and put out there, always try to bring my band into the now instead of people thinking that we're a band from the past. And it's not the easiest thing to do in the world because a lot of people have these misconceptions about what we're doing and what I'm doing. You kind of break those boundaries when you release an album like Elefante, like we did. We took big risks on this record for a little band from Southern California called the BulletBoys, and stepped out on a pirate plank with a sea of sharks and decided to jump into the water.
Nice.
So it was, we took a lot of guff and a lot of bullying and a lot of shaming and a lot of ridicule, and I've taken a lot of stuff over the years through, people saying that I have illusions of grandeur and different things like that, and I don't. I'm a working class musician. I have my family, my very, very close friends, and we did this for them. And I consider my fans family also. So I wanted to do something special that would maybe shine a light at the end of that very, very dark tunnel, and maybe there's a pin light at the end of that tunnel that people could rebuild on some things. I think we're going through a lot of different things in our country right now, and I really revere bands that are really trying to say some things out there, but without getting too preachy, or because we all make mistakes, and we're all we're all sinners, and we all try to do the best that we can. But I'm getting that a lot from people, especially like a song called Symphony that's on the record. That I can't tell you every night that people are coming up to me and telling us, "Thank you guys for writing this song. This helped me get through this really bad situation. My husband just left me, or my grandmother just passed away. My kids are sick. I just lost my home. And I play this song, and it gives me this it's crazy. It makes me feel like I can do things.
The record is really good.
Oh, thank you. But when you get stuff like that, you're just it's so. I hate to use this word, but that's the only one I can think of. It's a really massively humbling experience, because you don't know how people are going to react to your music, and for all intents and purposes, that we're getting any type of accolades at all is unbelievable.
I haven't heard one bad thing.
No, we haven't either. So it's in this day and age to get that.
Yeah.
It's pretty it's
well,
brilliant.
You
amazing.
touched a little bit on that. I reviewed the record for Decibel Geek, and I actually commented in there that after seeing you live and then hearing that record, in about a year's time, it really flipped my opinion of everything. It actually just brought me to where you were, I guess is a better way to put it. I really feel that you get an undue share of shit sometimes, because you're not my boss. We're not friends.
Right.
We don't hang out.
No.
What you owe me is a good record and a good show. And in those two instances, that's where you're delivered. So it seems like a lot of this other stuff, coming from people who know you no better than I do,
Right.
it almost is mean-spirited, I guess. It's one thing to be constructive and open-minded, but why do you think that you've been a little bit more of a target? That's not even really fair to say, because plenty of people do. The internet gets a lot of people out there that can say things, but it does seem that just because I want you to be kind of over the top. I want you to. I don't care if you have delusions of grandeur. I don't want you to be so down to earth that you're gonna like turn your back and be like, well, do you really want me to play another song? That's not what and that's what nobody here who's gonna be here tonight wants.
No, we're a band that don't assume that people assume that they're going to take kindness for weakness.
Mm-hmm.
We all grew up in tough areas in Los Angeles, so we lead with love, and people don't understand that. They say, why are you like this? Why is this? Why are these people? What's the deal? Why are they so? What's going on? What it is that we really care about music and what we're doing, and I do take a lot of heat for it because. There's been some things that I've said in the past that actually were supposed to happen that actually didn't manifest.
Well, so is Gene Simmons.
I was told, through my agents and the people around me that this was going to happen. So, we're excited. We say, hey, this is going to happen, and blah, 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 and then things don't happen. So, it is what it is, but we're very, very excited with Muncie, Ricci, and Skateboard Marketing, Cleopatra Deadline, Nancy B. Sale, our publicist, Blue Sparrow Enterprises, our corporation, that we have a team of people that got us a top 10 record with CMJ National on the CMJ National charts. We're rebranding the band,
Mm-hmm.
and for Rollover to hit in the top 8 in the country with a bullet is just unprecedented. It's dumbfounding to me that even the ridicule that we take, that people said, you know what? I mean, dude, we've had people that start immediately by start bashing us, and then by the end of the review, it's like, I love this band now. I hated this band and didn't like it. I don't even know why I didn't like it, but now I love this band because this is the best record they've ever put out.
Yeah.
So when you get that, you're just like, wow, that's insane. This guy
That's
literally
not too far
hated
off.
us.
I don't know if you had a chance to read my review. I know there was a little back and forth on Facebook, but that's very close to how my review was.
Wow.
I talked a little bit about the dirt that's been slung at you over the years, even touched on maybe reasons why, but then
Sure.
then I kind of talked about what we were just talking about.
Well, it's funny that, people don't know me. You don't know me.
Right.
I mean, you don't know me personally, and I don't really get a chance to open up to people personally. I've been very, very hurt in my career and hurt my people around me. I'm not a victim. I never try to say that. I know there's other people, and many people in this business. It's not an easy business. I'm not sitting here crying in my Sierra Mist, but you kind of pick yourself up sometimes. By roots. I'm not a quitter. I never have been.
No, you're a rock and roll survivor.
I've had people quit on me, and quit on their fans, and quit on just everything. And I would never quit on my fans because I owe my fans and family and friends, which I encompass into one person, everything, because the fact that they still come, that we're still packing shows. The On the Lines tour has been great. Shows have been packed. We're doing, I would say, at least half of the set is Elefante,
Nice.
because people are just screaming for it.
I was telling her on the way here, it's been a long time since a band with your history, like the length of time.
Yeah, totally.
That I wanted to hear so much of the new record.
Oh, awesome, thanks, man.
But we'll get into a little bit of that then.
But
Elefante.
thank you for bringing that stuff up, because we're working with a campaign right now with a company that we are with an anti-bullying and anti-shaming company, and there's a lot of young people now that take a lot of this bullying and shaming. And I'm here to say that not only the young people take it, but the older guys take it too. And it's very easy to bully and shame somebody without a face and a keyboard. It's a lot more difficult to bully and shame somebody when you're standing in front of their fucking face.
You're not wrong.
So it's an epidemic in this country. It's got to end. I think we need to revere our artists and our young artists that are coming up. Even though they make mistakes, we've all made bloody mistakes. But to be constantly haranguing them and trying to knock people down is I don't know, it's insane to me. I don't understand it. And it's not maybe for me to understand, but for me to try to gain knowledge and to let the younger people know that you don't have to be bullied or shamed. We, BulletBoys as a whole, we accept everybody as human beings. We love everybody. It doesn't matter color, creed, sexual preference, what have you. We love everybody. We grew up like that. So when I read stuff and people are getting that from people going like, I don't understand. The only thing I can understand is because maybe somebody may be a bit jealous, or that somebody's trying to do something out of the box. There's no reason
There's
why
a lot of hiding.
we still can't dream. There's no reason why we can't still speak out words. Words are very powerful about our vision, about different individuals' visions that they have. And once you take that away and you try to squash it all, I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I think we're in the United States, this country that I was born and raised in. That's what we're looking right there. The flags just soaring in the sky. I mean, this is a land of opportunity. The land that you can say anything that you want. It shouldn't. People shouldn't be coming down all the time, even though you don't agree with it. You still have to be able to accept the fact that people have a voice, and those voices have to be heard.
It is a vocal minority, I think, to a certain extent. Generally speaking, you run into people; they're upfront.
Yes.
The anonymity is probably what irritates me the most. 'Cause
Yeah.
even like some of my writings and stuff, I can get a little snarky or sarcastic, but my email address is there. I'm all over the place. There's ways to get a hold of me and tell me exactly. If I have a defense, it's that. But typically, I'm just more like over the top than anything. I like to support music. I like to.
What trips me out is that a band from our supposed genre is always, or bands from our supposed genre are never allowed to grow and to write music without some type of, someone coming down and lowering the boom and that's a blah 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 blah. But everybody else from the '90s is able to come up with new music, and everybody's hailing it. So my thing is, all you guys out there that are from our supposed era, I'd sure like to hear some new music.
I'm if they can kind of hold up to Elefante, I think it'd be a great thing.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
So you said you spent about 2 years.
A little over 2 years.
And recording now is so much different. So it's not like the days where you go in for 6 weeks, right?
No.
So
It's a different. You might go in for 3 weeks, come back out. Another. It all depends. Like the process with this record was, I really wanted to put the songs together, take them apart. We all did. Put them back together. Lyrical content. Okay, that's great, but that's not great. We want it great. How do we make that great? I need to go back home to really, really focus on.
So it's kind of a benefit of taking longer.
In some instances, yes. In some instances, no. It just happened to work out for us on the better half of it, because we were very diligent and we had a process that we wanted to achieve, and the process was to be able to take time with something. I think there's a lot of people that are just putting out stuff, they're just throwing it out there, and even if some of it's good, I look at the artists now that I revere and that I have a lot of respect for musically and business-wise, and they're taking their time with their music. They're not just trying to, but especially some of the new bands, they're really trying to focus on, let's write a body of work.
Right.
Like I hail the mighty Foo Fighters and David and Taylor. And
I think Symphony has a vibe of the Foo Fighters, by the way.
it's interesting. Well, I think I just love them to death, and their music got me through some really, really dark times that I went through in my personal life, and really warmed my heart to try to do something special with my band.
Yeah.
It kind of challenged me to step out of the box and to step up in another position, instead of just trying to, I always use this analogy. We're not a band that sits around like chickens and pecks at the floor for food. We're a band that tries to soar like eagles.
Yeah.
And you're either going to soar like an eagle, or you're going to be a chicken squawking and picking at the ground. And I don't want to be a chicken picking at the ground. I'd much rather soar like an eagle if I could, if I'm blessed to, and I work hard for it. I'm a working class musician. People don't like to hear that. They want to hear rock star. I'm not a rock star. I don't think of myself at all as that. I think of myself as a hard-working musician. I put on my hard hat. I got my lunch pail every fucking day. I go out and attack it that way. I see a lot of people that have this rock star thing, and it's just, it just really kind of bums me out sometimes, because you can't really approach somebody, or you can't really, talk to them like a brother and go, hey, what's going on, bro?
Yeah.
And that's how I roll,
That's cool.
Yeah.
You kind of stepped on my lead on this a little bit earlier, but I'll just get into it.
No problem.
One thing I liked about the record, and I noticed it pretty early on, within the first 5 songs, is that so many bands that you know, again, with your, you know, career trajectory along, that's been around a long time.
Sure, bro.
They try to release music now of what they think they once were, but they're thinking like it now, and it kind of becomes a simile.
Yeah.
And
it becomes this weird thing.
You don't. Like, I don't think you could write Smooth Up today because you're not that same guy.
I wouldn't.
And I'm glad you did. There's no stripper anthems on this record.
No.
It sounds like you now. It also sounds like the BulletBoys. It's
In the now.
Yeah, yes. You know.
Bro.
Yeah, you're welcome. It really does. So it really just it's an amazing record. It's definitely going to be on my top 10 at the end of the year. Right now it's close to 1 or 2, but.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Let's talk a couple of songs.
Yes, let's talk a couple tunes.
Rollover kicks off really good. It's
Yes.
a way to start a record nice and strong.
Thank you.
Go big off the bat, right?
Absolutely. Go big or go home, right?
But I think my personal favorite is Saving You From Me.
Very interesting.
The thing is,
we're hearing that a lot. Right?
Yeah, well, my lovely wife here, we've been together for over 10 years. I don't have this relationship sadness, you know what I mean? But I listened to that song and I related to, even though I'm not in it, it still took me to it, you know what I mean? We've all been through breakups, and that's a very strong message to send.
Thank you.
To be able to sell it with the emotion, you know what I mean?
I went through some very bad personal experience with...
Was it related to your divorce? That was
Yes.
my guess. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, that's a great way to get out and get through some of that stuff.
I don't like to say, I mean, I get a lot of questions of, you know, well, what does this mean? I've always, my whole career, I want to hear what it means to the person that's listening to it, rather than me explaining, you know, what does it mean to you?
Yeah,
What
for
are
you,
those-
that's what it's about. But the listener is going to, I mean, for me, it just reminded me of a couple other bad relationships when I was younger, you know?
It
But
just-
I
yeah.
was almost sad listening to it. It was that
Thank you.
good, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
You don't often hear someone say thanks for their song making them sad, but no,
No,
you got
you
exactly
know,
what I'm saying.
It evokes an emotion, and
Mhm.
that's, you know, that's what we want. You know, this music is so honest that I went through a lot of emotion for the first time actually putting this record together that I'd never done with the BulletBoys, where I was really open with my emotions and open with my poetry and lyrical content, and that for the first time you're just kind of going like, wow, you know, I want it to be as honest as possible, brutally honest.